hope y'all are doing well. It's me. I hope you enjoyed this video that is about to go. It's from me in like November, December, really long time ago, reacting to the Lord of the Rings movies for the first time in like the span of 2 days. So I just wanted to let you know that I was a first time Lord of the Rings viewer and I don't know a bunch of the lore, and I feel like people are going to hate on my Fellowship of the Ring reaction. And I'm gonna post all the movies separately because I watched the extended editions and I have 2.5 hours of footage, so I need to split it up by movie. And I'm just a little anxious about how you guys are gonna react to me reacting to Fellowship of the Ring. I didn't really have a great time with it. I don't know if it was because I was sick. I mean, there was definitely some cool elements, and I'll go into that at the end of my full watching and then talking about what my final thoughts are. But I just wanted to preface this that like my reactions do get better. I really enjoy Two Towers and Return of the King, and I really like the lore and the characters here. I feel like the Fellowship of the Ring could have done even more. And I watched the extended cuts of all these movies. So I spent like 12, 13 hours watching this series. And I can do a reaction to the Hobbit trilogy if you guys enjoyed this. And I will preface, again, I did not read the books. I haven't watched the movies. I don't know all the fandom stuff. So if I missed information, I'm sorry. I lack that knowledge when I was watching this, and I still do. I didn't read the books. I haven't read them since then. I haven't done a lot of digging, but I just wanted to preface this. Enjoy my reactions. I hope it's not too goofy. Also, because I was sick and because I don't know how to film when it's not my computer, and because HBO Max was blocking me recording with Streamlabs desktop OBS, I recorded on my phone, and I recorded vertically for all 3 movies. So, sorry. I'm just a dum-dum, and it's really awkward for me to hold it horizontally because I'd have to use 2 hands. I can't, I'm very shaky. But with 1 hand, I feel like I have more control. So apologies for the vertical stuff. I'm gonna do some like hopefully fun editing to make it look less shitty. So I hope you enjoy. Please be nice. Again, the reactions are gonna get better. I'm gonna have a better time. It's mostly just Merry and Pippin that really pissed me off in this movie to begin with, and then they have their redemption arc. So yeah, anyway, enjoy, and I'll see you in my other videos. Bye for now to this me. Say hello to past me.
Hey, so I'm sick. So I'm gonna watch the Lord of the Rings movies for the first time. I've seen The Hobbit, and I want to watch Rings of Power, so I'm watching the original because I think I've seen Fellowship of the Ring, and I pretty much know the story. I know Sauron, I know about the ring, I know Frodo and Sam and Gandalf the Grey, who becomes the White. I don't know how, I think because the other guy gets corrupted. Anyway, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm watching the extended versions, not just the standard ones, which I don't know if is a mistake or not, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys tuned in into my thoughts and stuff. I'm not gonna show it because this one's almost 4 hours, the extended version, so we don't really have time for that. So I'll let you know my thoughts. There's probably a lot I'm missing because I'm not reading the books, but why did Saruman go bad? I don't get it. Was it just fear? Was it like torture? Because we saw Gollum gave up Shire and Baggins, though don't know how he knows that. I guess the ring is still somehow connected to him because he had it for 500 years. But I don't know. I like a lot of these scenes. Like, they're thematically and cinematically very dynamic and interesting. But like the 2 hobbits that aren't Frodo and Sam are really annoying. Like Pippin and whoever, the Buxby, like they are just there because they were there, and like they're annoying. And then Sam isn't that helpful. Frodo's kind of annoying too, and Gandalf's just trapped. I like Strider, he seems interesting, but like I don't know why he's helping. I'm in an hour 15 and I'm like, you're just helping just cuz? I guess like, oh, they're the bad guys and you should probably stick with them, but like, why get involved? Again, they didn't say what happened with Saruman. He's just evil because evil. And that's kind of not great. Or at least, like, it seems like it was supposed to be like, oh my god, I never saw it coming. But I'm like, I don't know you. It's not like that big of a twist. I mean, he's just sort of, oh yes, my friend, I can trust him. And then it's like, oh no, he can't be. A lot of the characters are just doing dumb things. And like, this whole movie is just a chase, which is kind of a lot to ask for a whole movie to like revolve. And yes, there's like pit stops. Like, I know they need to go to the volcano, I think Mount Doom, to then throw the ring into the fire. They don't know that yet. So like, it's amazing because I know these books are chunky. And then the Hobbit book is small, but they made that into 3 movies. And I'm like, they're really just playing these out. I'm like, you could just simplify this. And then I'm watching the extended version. It's like, wow, that seems like a lot. But again, I like the visuals. Some of the camera shots are really cool. I like these ring wraiths. They're interesting. I don't get why Bilbo left the ring behind. Did he just go off to die? He's like, I wrote my book and then now I've lived too long. This ring has cursed me. I'm gonna go fuck off and die. I'll leave it to my nephew, and I hate the rest of my family. There's just a lot they expect us to just know. And I'm like, you're not really telling it. You're just sort of letting a lot of things go by. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on. And again, I'm like a third of the way through the first movie, so. I know like the other ones, there's like the Two Towers, and then there's Return of the King. And I know those are like pretty action-y, but like this seems kind of light so far. It's, yeah. Okay. So we're in Rivendell, and for some reason the elves are leaving, I guess because, I don't know, there's probably something in the lore that says they need to go retire or whatever. Because he's like, the elven time is done, you cannot rely on us, the ring can't stay here. Frodo is fine. I don't know this guy's name. Elrond, I think is his name. He was there when Sauron got his fingers cut off by Isildur, and then Isildur took the ring, and they were supposed to throw it into the mountain then, but then he said no. But why didn't Elrond take it? Or why didn't he kill Isildur, however you say his name? Why didn't he kill him and then throw the body into the lava? Like, was there some treaty? I know they said the humans and elves had a treaty, but you know, the evil was defeated at that time. The treaty should not have stood. And also for the greater fucking good. You can kill this loser. I know he's the son of the king, but like, fuck this guy. He was just like, no, I'm gonna take it. Men were evil and selfish. And it's like, yeah, that's been in our fucking nature. And then Gandalf's like, no, the men can do it again. And I'm like, no. I just throw it. I also don't understand why the hobbits have such an affinity to resist. Is it because of their simple nature? But then the two hobbits who are with Sam and Frodo, Pippin and the other guy, they're selfish because they were stealing crops and being mischievous. So it doesn't seem like if they held the ring, they'd be able to resist at all. But for some reason, there's something in Bilbo Baggins and Frodo. And possibly Sam? I don't know. And then even Gandalf's like, do not give me the ring. I will not be able to use it for good. Even if I wanted to use it for good, I could not, because the ring would, like, twist it. So I might just give it to an elf for now. And then they can take it to the mountain, and then, boop. This feels so endlessly complicated for no reason. Is that just me? I feel bad that I'm shitting on it because, like, I haven't read the books. This is my first time sort of viewing it. I feel like I did see the Fellowship of the Ring. I don't remember the other two movies. I just know, Cate Blanchett's character comes into play. I think she becomes corrupted. I know Gandalf goes from gray to white, and then there's a brown wizard. And yeah, I saw Legolas, and I saw Sean Bean, and then I saw the dwarf guy. I'm just confused. Hey, they said Fellowship of the Ring. Roll credits. Good morning. So, I fell asleep during The Lord of the Rings. They're on the mountain and Saruman was trying to knock them off, and then they decided they asked Frodo what his decision was, and they decided to go to the mine of Mirai. So that's where I left off. I don't know if it's because I think the movie's a little lackluster in terms of plot, because the shots are really interesting, and again, the characters are interesting. It's just like, this is a fetch quest, and there's just not a lot going on in between, and I'm not learning enough about the characters. Maybe that's it. I think also because I'm sick, so I was lulled into a nap, and then I just actually went to bed that night. So I'm gonna continue from where I left off. I'm sorry, does anyone truly like Pippin and his brother? Again, I don't know his name. All they've been doing is causing trouble. They threw rocks into the lake where that Cthulhu Kraken was that made them have to go into the mines of Moria. And like now they're trapped in there. They have to continue forward for 4 days. And then they almost fell off the ledge because they're too curious. And then they were stumbling up the stairs, and I'm like, fucking leave. Just leave them behind. I'm so tired of them. Yes, Sam needs to be there because Frodo exists, but like these two, useless. I hate them so much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for anyone that likes them. I'm just sick of them. Go away. Go far away. Gandalf just had an amazing line that said, many who live die, but many who die are meant to live. And can you give that to them? Or is that your decision to make? As he's talking to Frodo about Gollum, Smeagol. Oh, that was a good line. Oh, Ian McKellen. Mwah. I love him so much. He's so talented. That was such a good line. Yes. Pippin and Mary, I'll never forget their names. They are so annoying. They just found Balin's grave, and they are curious again. Like, I don't understand what is wrong with them. They were saying in the beginning how hobbits are like very like calm and quiet, quaint creatures that like their ale and like their food. But why are these ones so damn bumbling and stupid and obtuse? I hate them. I hate them. They cause all the problems in this world. All of them. And they're not even supposed to be tied into this lore, but like I hate them. I hate them so much. I hate them so much. I think he's gonna say the line, Gandalf. Also, I thought he was referring to Smaug when he said Shadow and Flame, but this Balrog makes more sense. I just saw some guy make a miniature based off of it. All right, say it. Say the line. Say the line. You shall not pass. You already said you cannot. Oh, and there's this whip. Shall not pass. Oh, Ian McKellen, what a delivery. Amazing. He's so powerful. I love this. That was very good. As you can see, I got through to the end of the Fellowship of the Ring. I think it's a mistake for Aragorn, aka Strider, and Legolas and Gimli to go after Merry and Pippin. They should have just followed Sam and what's-his-face, Frodo, just left Merry and Pippin to die. Because, again, I do not like them. I'm sorry. They bother me. And then even, they had like one moment when Boromir, I think is his name, Sean Bean's character, who dies because it's Sean Bean. When Boromir, gets shot with an arrow, they start to charge to go and hurt the orcs that have been hurting them and shooting at them. But then they just get captured. They barely even swing a sword and then they get captured. So it seemed like that time to have courage didn't work that Kate Blanchett's character talked about. Garahil? Oh, I had her name in my head and then I forgot. She was very pretty. Though there was a scene that confused me. There was a scene where Frodo was like, you take it because I can't do this. This is too much responsibility. And then she gets corrupted for a second, but then she's like, I passed the test. And it's like, because you resisted? Or because you showed your true colors and are still not going to take it? I don't know. That part kind of confused me a little bit. But she was very pretty. And she had a lot of regality and foresight to her, which I like. What I found kind of weird was there was a scene where Frodo was hiding from the orcs and Merry and Pippin find him. And they're like, come over here, quick. But then they almost have a moment when they're speaking telepathically, but I thought only they did that in that elven shrine area where Garadine, the fuck, Lord of the Rings, Kate Blanchett, Galadriel, sorry. I thought they could only do telepathy with Galadriel, but they couldn't, so that was weird. That they did it again later. It seemed like quite the stretch, or it seemed too quickly that Boromir turned and asked for the ring from Frodo, because Galadriel, said there's so much hope for Gondor and the legacy that Boromir holds, but then he's like, I don't see it, so he was like, screw it, I'm gonna take the ring. But that leads to his demise, though he does apologize for it with Strider Aragorn. Also, I don't know what Elasar is. Is that another name for him? Was that his mother's name? I don't know. What else? I thought it was badass how Boromir died, but I felt like he died needlessly. Number one, he should have moved from his location where he got shot in the heart, and then the hobbits, Merry and Pippin, should have intervened. But the orc just straight on hit him all along his left side. It was his heart, and then his stomach, and then his spleen, liver area. He just literally went down the row. It looked like, and then he died. No, again, it was badass to see him still fighting despite having 2 arrows in him, and then the third one finally took him out. That felt kind of needless. I don't care about them. Maybe they have a comeuppance moment in The Two Towers or Return of the King, but I just do not like Merry and Pippin. I thought they were a waste of time. At the beginning of the movie, when we were back in the Shire, I was like, why are we focusing on these two misfits? It just didn't seem to make sense. Also, it's interesting, the way Galadriel acted was had a similar reaction to how Bilbo reacted when we saw him again at the other elven place they first went to, where we saw Arwen, is that her name? She was very pretty. I wish they would have gone into how they met, how they fell in love, what her sacrifice is, because she is giving this life necklace to Strider Aragorn. And that's it's supposed to show I am always going to love you and I'd rather be mortal and live with you than live eternally without. And that's really sweet, but I'm I don't know your love story, so it doesn't hit like it should. But I think they're really cute and they seem very sweet together. But again, I don't know you. I don't know you that well. So it doesn't feel earned, if that makes sense. Maybe that's something that goes into Rings of Power. Maybe they do a flashback with the Hobbit movies or something. But it doesn't fit at the moment, which kind of sucks because there seems to be like so much like importance and tension with these characters like Saruman and Gandalf's relationship, but then that is just like, oh my god, he was evil this whole time, and I'm like, how long have you known each other? I'm assuming a long time, but like I don't know if your relationship was ever good or if you've ever just been a mentor or if he's just a peer colleague. It seems to be so deep, but then it's like, oh my god, he's a bad guy. I can't believe it after all this time I've known you. And I'm like, I haven't known you that long, so it just doesn't really fit. And I feel like I'm starting now to see why people ship Sam and Frodo so much, but at the same time, Sam's relationship to him is weird. He keeps calling him Mr. Frodo, but at the beginning of the movie, Elijah Wood's Frodo is trying to push Sam to talk to this girl Rosie at the Shire, who's like she's like a bar keep, and she's cute. But from that relationship, it seemed like they were friends. But then he keeps calling him Mr. Frodo. I fucking hate it. It's like, are you a subordinate? Are you like a mentee? Or are you his friend? Are you an equal? Because they have this relationship where it's like, oh, I'm so glad you're with me, Sam. You're so important. But I also don't want to get you hurt, so I also had to push you away. I don't know your relationship. And I feel like Sam is muddying it because he keeps calling him Mr. Frodo. And I feel like he only started calling him Mr. Frodo after Gandalf said, Samwise Grigu, whatever his last name is, you have to look after him. So like he was like, okay, this is my responsibility and I keep you safe. You're Mr. Protagonist head honcho man, so I have to call you Mr. Frodo. But I don't know, like, and there's a part of me that's like, that's sweet, but it also can be read as queer, but it also just could be read as like indenturement and servitude, and it's a weird teetering line that like somewhat makes me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather it just be queer than it be like servitude, because again, if I knew more about their relationship, I think it would make more sense. But the fact that I have these like gaps in knowledge, but I'm just told like, oh, they're best friends, I'm like, okay, but like I don't know, there's a lot of these tensions, and they haven't gone into Legolas's story at all. I'm like, he just sort of showed up on a horse with the dwarf Grimgi, that's his name. And he's just like, you're in the Fellowship. And then they're like, at the end of the movie, they're like, oh my god, the Fellowship is broken after all this time. And I'm like, you've really only been together for like maybe 2 hours. And yes, I know expands probably maybe like a week. But like the Fellowship hasn't been that strongly held together for so long. So it just seems kind of like everyone's being really dramatic about these relationships when there really hasn't been enough time sitting in them. And again, they cut away from like a ton of the like traveling because it was already very montagey, and it's already like we're on a quest. There's not a lot of interesting things happening. We just are avoiding trouble. So we're mostly just camping. But still, I don't know, this movie, I expected more from it, to be honest. I know good things and good action are coming with the next 2 movies, but I still expected this one to like really catapult everything. And then maybe the others to plateau, but it seems really like this seemed kind of mid, and then now I think everything's just gonna go up. But this is not how I expected it to start. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion. I don't know. But I'm gonna now watch The Two Towers. I believe is what it's called. I keep wanting to say Twin Towers. I know it's not Twin Towers. It's the Two Towers, yeah. I'm from New York, so the only 2 towers that I'm really familiar with are the Twin Towers. So I guess we'll go into that now. I'll let you guys know my thoughts on that as I go along, and then at the end. Bye-bye for now. Just in case people are really mad at me, I think the cinematography and the score and the set pieces are gorgeous. Like the backgrounds are really good, and the CGI is a little dated, but it still looks really nice, and the ideas are beautiful. The scale of things, seeing Gandalf, you shall not pass with the Balrog, it's very cool looking, I will say. But there's just narrative pieces that I wish were more detailed, and they probably are in the books. Maybe that means I just need to read the book, but that's also going to be quite the endeavor. So I don't know. Let me know if you like the books better than in the movies. Okay.